So Modern goes by pretty quickly, apparently. These rounds are starting very soon. And, again, I'm down on time, but it's alright. So I'm on the play, and this hand is not great. Just one Faithless Looting, I think I can keep like any hand, but not this one. So this one has turn 2 Liliana, and I think that's good enough. I would hope that's good enough anyway. My opponent is mulliganing a bunch though, which Liliana loves seeing. And I'm just going to crack this now so I can F6. I wonder if he's playing Storm. Storm doesn't mulligan too much, but it certainly can. I mean, at this point, it's tough to say whether he's like Delver or Twin or Storm or whatever. Regardless, turn 2 Liliana is going to be pretty good. Just need to draw some action, as always. Very few games where you actually have it all with this deck. I've played some other versions that have blue. You have like Serum Visions, you can go like the Glimpse, the Unthinkable route, play on Burial Rites, stuff like that. And those are okay. But I want to try this one, because turn 2 Liliana is pretty sweet. Just want to activate the Hollow. Just once. Once in these 4 matches would be great. So Remand tips me off that he's not Storm. Young Pyromancer obviously means he's a Delver-ish deck. So take a look at what he's got going on here. Possible I made a mistake. It's very possible I should just Liliana discarding this, because once I discard Gristlebrand, I can't really discard Emrakul anymore, so I'm kind of like locked right now. So just leak Remand Pyromancer, take that Pyromancer, kill his other one. Liliana can eat his counter spells pretty easily. Unless he draws like a Bolt or something, but he's just drew a land. I don't know if we play this Grove or not. I don't think so. Because if I draw a Goryos, it might get to a point where, like, I have Goryos Emrakul, and he has one card which I know is a counterspell. Although he discarded his leak first. So it would just be a remand. And I would want to activate the Liliana to get the counter out of his hand before doing it. I guess now I'm in the same spot. I should have just not played that land. I'm over it. So I think maybe I should have just discarded Emrakul on the first pitch. So there's a Lavamancer, and he still has Remand open. I don't think I'm going to need triple red. So we'll just get this Tomb. He's already seen the Grove, so he knows I have green somewhere. And this is kind of awkward. Guess I just want to make him sack anyway. So otherwise he can start dinging this Liliana. I'm probably going to have to kill this eventually. No. Do I just lose the Liliana now? I think I probably have to. Yeah, I definitely have to make him sack this because he could just attack me. So that is somewhat unfortunate, but I have him down to no board, no hand. Well, I have a pair of Emeralds, so we'll see who wins. It's probably going to be him, but we'll see. Worth noting, he is paying life here, which leads me to believe he has some 3-drops, or could play a cantrip into a 2-drop or something. Like maybe he probably has Mendelian clicks in some amount. Well, that's pretty good. My draw's pretty good too. Goryos, please. Thank you. Had it the whole time. So we win this game 1. Pretty sure this matchup's not great. I'm not sure how much graveyard hate decks like this typically run. Flawless victory. No hand, no board, no life points. So this is definitely one of those matchups where I probably want some Pyroclasms and whatnot. Dark Blast seems pretty nice. Curious if Plasm is actually better than Decay. Decay's harder to cast, but can hit Graveyard Hate. But Plasm can get all of his Young Pyromancer tokens if he has that with like a Gitaxian Probe or something. So, cutting the Thoughtseizes. Just like don't think I want too much discard, and losing life is definitely not great against this guy's deck, just because he is basically a burn deck. Not like a super heavy burn deck or whatever, but still just one of those things where don't want to be giving up life points unnecessarily, especially if the discard isn't super relevant. So here, I have to cut one more card. I'm not sure which. I think Liliana's good. I think the Spirit Guides are good. Just like whether or not I want to trim a Breach or an Emrakul. And it could just be like trimming an Emrakul. But could just be cutting another discard spell, cut an Inquisition. Inquisition's pretty good though. Just like I'm not sure Breach is going to do very well against Remand, Mana Leak, potential Spell Pierces. So we'll just do that, I guess. It's like a lot of stuff to fight through, you know? This is pretty good. Pyroclasm kills some early thing, Liliana kills follow-up thing. I'm not in the market for a Faithless Looting quite yet. Just like don't really know what I want to discard. Might need more cards in my hand for Liliana. Not really searching for anything specific. So you might play like a Pyromancer here, which I'll probably just Pyroclasm right away. Allow me to keep playing on curve. Ugh. So I kind of think he has Vendilion. Could also just be that he has a counterspell, which is also fine. kind of didn't really want to like tip my hat, like play a fetch land and then crack it, which basically lets him know that I have a Liliana. But just gonna run it out there. I don't think like the waiting game helps me at all. And the next turn maybe I can looting into something else, like just some more gas, start hammering him with spells. Also got to get those remands out of his hand, so. He's got another Pyromancer. I have a Pyroclasm. Don't really want to get Spell Pierced. So we'll just do that, I guess. So things are going alright. I got plenty of time. Get to keep his threats off the board. And then hopefully just assemble something. He missed a land drop too, which is pretty nice. And I'll fetch a Blood Crypt. End of his turn. Might actually need multiple red manas on one turn. So now what do I play around, if anything? So you could have Leak, and I'm kind of sure he has a Spell Pierce. So I could pay 2 to like play this Liliana, but I just kind of like walk into Mana Leak, so that's kind of awkward. If I play Cliffs and then Blood Crypt next turn, he needs to Leak and Pierce it, which I'm fine with. So I think we're just going to do that, and then if he plays a Vendilion, I'll probably just Lightning Axe it and discard this land. Bolt me, going upstairs. Respectable. I'm just getting Snapcaster out there, it's interesting. So I guess he didn't have any probes or anything that he wanted to snap. So I kind of want to axe this thing too. Just don't really want to take any damage. And would like to play Liliana on an empty board. No, still not getting clicked. Alright, so that resolves. That's good. I think I'm supposed to just discard this looting. You discard a Pyromancer. So does he have a Vendilion or another Snapcaster? I feel like if he bolted me last turn and then played Snapcaster for no value, then he probably has another one. So right now we're putting him on Spell Pierce. I don't think he has a Leak or a Remand. Because if he did have Spell Pierce, he'd be fine just like leaking, remanding. Remand this definitely. Maybe not Mana Leak. Maybe he still wants to save Leak for something like Through the Breach, and he has Liliana covered with the Snapcaster. So I guess it is entirely possible still that he has a Mana Leak, but I doubt he has a Remand if he If he has a Spell Pierce. If he doesn't have a Spell Pierce, he could still have Remand. But hard to say, hard to say. Sword of Fire and Ice. That is an interesting one. Okay, so we have a Grove. I don't think there's any reason for me to play it. Jesus. That is a lot of those. This is not going too well. Bricked off. So I'm taking 6. He's drawn a card. Life is good for him. He gave me a turn. I didn't do anything, so... now I'm dead to any burn spell. Yeah, that seems kind of likely. It was not likely that if I drew Griselbrand there I would have lived, but in theory it would have stabilized me. I feel like he would have countered it, but... the game was awkward. It was going pretty well. And I just died. I don't think I want to change anything. I liked what was happening that game. I like that I got to kill all the stuff and then draw some cards. And at the end of it, I just had nothing. Which is reasonable. Snapcaster kind of threatens my Lilianas, especially if he has a Lightning Bolt, so maybe I want more discard there, but I don't know. Like, if the games go long, I also don't want to be top-decking a bunch of discard. Alright. We can get behind this. Dark Blast is especially pretty nice. Negate Mana Leak, Lightning Bolt. Oof. It's gonna be tough to beat those two counterspells. His hand's pretty good. Definitely Dark Blessing that Delver, so don't care about that. Don't care about the Bolt. I kind of want to just take the Snapcaster Mage and play a longer game, but at the same time, that might favor me more if I just take the Negate. But if the game goes on too long, then like a Snapcaster is functionally another Negate, so I think that means I'm just supposed to take the Snapcaster. So we'll just do that. Then hopefully he can play around Mana Leak and draw two things to fight through his Negate. But not super optimistic about that happening. So I think I'm just going to loot this turn. And then if I draw a Goryos, I will probably Emrakul him. As is, I think I can just discard these Pyroclasms, keep the land Spirit Guide, and then I can draw a Breach. Because if he ever taps out, like A, I have Dark Blast, which can kill any of his threats, and B, it's very risky on his part. So even if he draws something like Young Pyromancer, he might not even be able to cast it just because I can just Dark Blast it. And that risk is not worth taking the shields down for a turn. And I hope he feels that way. Alternatively, I can just get my Spirit Guide Beats on here. Which might just like trade with his Mana Leak, I don't know. I guess he has that Lightning Bolt still. And that's probably kind of silly. Because his Bolt's not doing anything. So now I can flashback looting if I wanted to. I don't think I really do though, because all my cards are kind of good. So this is just an awkward main phase fetch a duel and pass, I guess. So there's the Vengeance. Now I just need to break through this counter wall somehow. And that's not going to be easy. Yeah, him missing land drops is great though. Then I get to fetch the other 2 lands that are in my deck. That's not good. I think I would just want to keep playing out these lands. It's going to be tough to play around Negate, but I can certainly play around Mana Leak. Things are getting dicey though. I need him to make a mistake and tap low or tap out. It's probably very suspicious that I'm not flashing this looting pack though. So the man shows a Delver, which is reasonable because he has Leak Negate open still. I think I'm just going to hardcast a Lightning Axe. Because A, this thing is not doing much for me. I don't want to discard any of my cards. I have 6 mana. And if he leaks this, that's fine. I can just dredge Dark Blast if I want to. Okay, so here's a looting. Can I do anything with this, though? So I can flashback looting and cast Goryos, but I'll only have 2 mana, like a land and a Spirit Guide, so I might want to wait until I have another land, but that's going to be tough since all my fetches are dead and all my other lands ETB tapped. So my hope would be that I draw a Spirit Guide off the looting. I could also lead with this one, but I don't want to discard Emrakul, lose my 2 flashback lootings, and then just have my Goryos get negated. So I either wait or I cast this looting and hope that just like the fear of 2 Spirit Guides means he negates it instead of leaks it, but I think he would just leak it, and then if I use 2 Spirit Guides, whatever, then he can still negate it. So I think he would just leak. So I'm just going to pass. Pretty reasonable draw for him, since like any 1 mana spell is pretty good. Still gets to keep him with 2 counter spells, and then can either draw into more lands or maybe threats. It just depends on what he needs. So I don't need that Emrakul. That's for sure. I think I'm still in the same position I was. He kept them both on top, though. That's crazy. Alright, I'm going to try and draw a Spirit Guide now, because if he draws a land and then has 3 counterspells open, I'm like super dead. I guess I would lose my Dark Blast, too. Well, that kind of sucks. Alternatively, I could just dredge the Dark Blast and keep it, which might not be the worst idea, I suppose. No, I need more action. I need to fight through his counter wall. I'm not too concerned with his threats, I don't think. And we drew the second Spirit Guide, so that's a start. So now we get to Goryos this thing. I'm really glad I took that Snapcaster, because otherwise he would have 2 negates, basically. And I will pay. Haha! And now you just negate it. Or leak it again, whatever. Could remand it, but I'm pretty fine with that. So all these bad cards get shuffled in. I still have a looting. So hopefully not too many more hard counterspells coming from this guy. Those are tough to deal with. I can play around the soft ones pretty well. Okay. So he kept a card on top and didn't play a land. That is suspicious. So another looting and a Spirit Guide. I don't know if I want to discard this Emrakul. I think I just want to discard Gristlebrand, Spirit Guide. Because I think I want to keep this flashback. No, I think I just pass. He's going to Vendilion me. Electrolyze me. Alright, that's fine. Bolt me. Now the party starts, where he just burns me out. Oh dear. It's a lot of those. A lot of those. So now the clock's ticking. Now I actually have to make a move, I think. Too much burn. You can kill all the creatures. I guess this deck probably has Blood Moon too, which is something maybe I should be playing around. Yeah, I think I just flash back, get my use out of that. So there's a breach. I actually have a threat now. So Marsh Flats doesn't do anything. I don't think Pyroclasm does anything either. So I can looting again. If I draw Goryos, I would have to discard Emrakul. I don't really want to do that. So I think I just pass, although I think passing might just kill me. I think he might just be able to burn me out now. It's like Snapcaster, Bolt. Yep. Bolt puts me to 4, attack puts me to 2, any other burn spell is going to kill me. This looks like another Electrolyze. in which case I am dead. But no. So maybe not dead yet. Maybe we have a turn. Or maybe he just didn't want to tap out and get this axed. It's also a possibility. Alright. Well, he's got 4 cards. They can't all be good, right? I think they actually have to all be bad. Okay, well... I think my best bet is to Emrakul him, and this plays around Leak and Pierce. Although not both. So if I had another couple turns, maybe I could have like actually played more spells. Like played through the breach to get out a counter spell, and then played this. Vapor Snag is Snapcaster. Replay Snapcaster. Mana Leak. Or negate my thing. I think that's going to be it. That is going to do it. Although Vapor Snag is pretty good against Gristlebrand too. Especially if he's like putting pressure on me and has me kind of low. So that's it. No hate, and I was defeated anyway.